Hey guys, subscribe for daily content. And if you're shopping for gear, make sure you check out the description for the newest items at some of the very best online retailers. There's also links for some of the items that I personally recommend. Thanks!
What's going on YouTube? Metal Complex here, and today I'm going to update you guys on the top 5 most carried knives out of my entire collection. I've got some awesome new ones here to share with you guys. Thanks so much to my patrons for supporting me, and please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. Some of these knives are available and some of them are not. I will link everything I can right down in the description so you guys can check them out if you want to. It does help my channel when you use those links before you buy something, but that's entirely up to you. Starting off here with number 5, that's going to be the new Flightanium and Demco Arcade with the beautiful shark lock. Listen, one of my favorite EDC knives of all time is the Demco 80 20.5 for the same reason, because the shark lock is amazing. For those of you who don't know, the shark lock was invented by Andrew Demco, who was the same person who invented the triad lock. So you get all the strength of the triad lock, arguably a bit more, but it's way easier to manipulate. Some people don't like the profile of this knife. I love it, but I understand why some people don't like it, right? This knife, I think, is for the people who don't like that profile, because this has much more of a classic look. So this was a collaboration between Flightanium and Andrew Demco. And to, put the cherry on top of it, they didn't manufacture this in China. They manufactured it in Taiwan, which I know a lot of people, not everybody, but a lot of people, that makes a big difference to a lot of people. Aluminum frame, we have, in this case, G10 inlays, but it comes with 2 sets. So there's a bunch of different versions of this knife, but when you order it, you get 2 sets of scales, which is cool. I mean, that's kind of Flightanium's thing, right? Customization. This is awesome. S35VN, we got a nice drop point blade. I think a lot of people will agree with me when I say they need to do a sheep's foot or a shark's foot version of this knife. I love the drop point, but man, a shark's foot version would be awesome. Little bit sharp right here on the edges, but outside of that, it's such a wonderful EDC knife. Really, really easy to manipulate and just an absolute joy. The only reason this isn't higher on the list is because I just recently got it here. Over time, it's absolutely gonna climb the ladder. Moving on here to number 4, a ridiculously underrated knife right now, and that's the Kaiser Brat. What's so special about that? We've kind of talked about this. This is a G10 integral, meaning the handle is one solid piece of G10 versus, like 2 different pieces with standoffs. And I think that's really cool. Not everybody cares about that, but I like it. This is a button lock, and it's in one of my favorite steels of all time, which is 154cm. We have that beautiful Kaiser stonewash. Nice drop point blade. Really just an absolutely excellent knife. This thing has broken in beautifully over time. Even the original stick, like the button lock stick with this, finally broke in. It's just a great overall EDC profile, and I love how the jimping extends all the way out to where the swedge starts. Just really, really nice. And to top it all off, this is a $90 knife. I will link this. It's actually on the Kaiser website. It's available, so I'll link it down there. But man, this is so good. I wish that they had milled it out so that lefties could carry it. But really, for 90 bucks, it's hard to argue with this thing. It's such a great knife, and I really feel like it's flying under the radar for so many people. You have no other options really on the market for a G10 integral, at least one that's at this price and with this profile. I mean, it's really set up for EDC. Really, really nice Kaiser Brat. Moving on here. This is one of the ones that you can't get right now, but it's still definitely in my pocket all the time. And that's the Sharp by Design Evo Typhoon. This is for obvious reasons. This is definitely the most expensive knife on the list. I want to say that these were, what were they when they dropped this last time? Close to $400. Yeah, it's just an absolutely amazing profile. I've talked about this knife a million times. Sharp by Design has the lipped detent system, so it's not a detent ball. It's actually a lip of, in this case, steel on the steel lock bar insert, and it just creates for a completely unique flipping experience. I like the boot heel flipper. Not everybody likes that, but for me, this just has one of the best flipping actions ever. This configuration arguably is the most boring configuration. I own another version of this in Damasteel that is a harpoon, but this drop point with the carbon fiber inlay and the sort of blasted titanium, just beautiful. This has been such a wonderful knife, and I'm so happy that I got my hands on one to actually carry. But yeah, huge fan of this. I'm always going to be a gigantic fan of Brian Nadeau and Sharp by Design. This is one of the Riot collaborations. It's not a custom. His customs are made in the United States, but this is a Riot made knife. And it's really the combination of Brian Nadeau, his understanding when it comes to design and just functionality, and then Riot's, of course, precision manufacturing. This culminated into such a beautiful, it crescendoed into such a beautiful EDC knife for sure. Moving on here, wow, this is definitely spent some time in my pocket here, and that's the Savivi Vision FG. You can absolutely get this knife right now. So this is the super lock, which actually is placed, it's not the same thing as the shark lock, it's just on the spine, and it kind of manipulates the same. But wow, I love the profile here. I mean, with this type of manipulation and, different, options, these three right here are kind of getting that experience, but you have three completely separate profiles to choose from. But the big reason to choose the Vision FG over the Flightanium Arcade and the Demco 80-20.5 is obvious. The Savivi Vision FG is, what is it, $83? Oh man, this is wonderful. I have mine in like the OD, my Carta, and the coated blade. But man, this thing is so cool. And every time I get it out, if I'm around anybody who's even remotely interested in pocket knives, they always ask to see it. If there's something about, even people who aren't knife people, there's something about the way this manipulates that just kind of, all the neurons fire, and it's just like, oh, cool, and people want to sit there and play with it. So, it's one of those things, like a lot of people look at knives like this and they think, oh, that fidget factor, this new fidget factor, I can't, I'm all about utility and I'm convenient. It can be the same thing. The nice thing about this lock is, yeah, it is very fidgety, but it's also ridiculously easy to manipulate, right? The time it takes to get a freaking lock back out and put it back away, right? Knives that are, really utility focused and things like that. The funny thing is that when those knives are pointed to, right, I'll use the Buck 110 as an example, you can open and close this 10 times before you can get the Buck 110's blade out and put it back away. So this is the type of evolution that I like to see in a folding knife, because there's actually less mess, there's less, fuss and screwing around. If you really need to just get the knife out, make a cut and put it away, it's stuff like this that makes the most sense to me. It really is that convenient to use. And fortunately, Savivi and Snex really had enough sense to add, pocket clip mounting positions to both sides. So left and right-handed people can enjoy this exactly the same way. I cannot recommend this knife enough. And again, it is actually available. Moving on here to the number one knife. Absolutely. Number one knife I have carried the most out of anything. And that is the Olone Knives Goat Axle. Oh my goodness. This is everything that I want. Like, it's no matter what I say, people are going to go, they don't take the copy of the Bugout. Like, that's just what people are going to say. That's the first thing that pops in your head, right? It's a drop point blade, and it's a traditional knife handle, right? I promise you, Benchmade did not invent that, right? There are roughly 40 gajillion knives that look exactly the same. So, unless Benchmade has a time machine and went back in time and copied like the first functional knife that a caveman made out of a rock, that's not a copy, right? But it's what I wanted the Bugout to be. We have this beautiful traditional knife look. We have this absolutely killer blade. That is like the most perfectly functional blade. Oh my goodness. This is Riot produced. So, and I think it's Riot's first crossbar lock. We have the perfect tension with the crossbar lock here. Absolutely wonderful. Wonderful ergonomics. Wonderful transition from the titanium to the micarta. A beautiful clip. The only bad thing about the clip is that it's right-handed only. Lefties want to enjoy this too. This is an ambidextrous lock. Come on, right? But it's bigger and it's more robust and it's contoured versus the Bugout, right? So I like the Bugout. I had to add titanium scales to mine because, whoa, that freaking plastic sucks. That is the worst. But this, it's just a bigger, more robust knife that honestly doesn't really carry that much different. I might notice it slightly, but in the pocket, I just feel like I'm carrying a bigger, more capable knife that just feels more solid and has more blade. and the amount of additional weight that I'm carrying is negligible. It's just not something that I care about. They need to get more of these titanium versions on the market. As far as I know right now, the titanium versions are sold out. You can buy a G10 version of this, but I think the price is a bit high. But honestly, this one being produced by Riot and coming in at what, $250? That is amazing. If you're new to knives and you're like, $250 for a knife, that's crazy. Listen, it is amazing versus the competition, what you're getting here. Absolutely spectacular and one of the best releases of 2023, hands down. So let's go back through these. Once again, we have the Olone Knives Goat Axle. We have the Savivi Vision FG. We have the Sharp by Design Evo Typhoon. We have the Kaiser Brat Integral, the G10 Integral, and then the Flightanium and Demco Arcade. Absolute EDC champions here. As far as availability goes, the Arcade is available, the Brat is available, this guy's not, this guy is, and then this guy is limited to the G10 versions right now, but I would continue to check back if you're trying to get that. It is any of these are worth going after, for sure. Okay, that's it for the update. Thanks so much for watching. Like I said, links down in the description. Please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex if you enjoyed this video. Leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do, of course, have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like, so check those out. And if you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click on that Metal Complex logo right there and subscribe because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.